We've had a lot of people unhappy lately with the amount of development that's gone on in certain parts of the county, and the fact that it seems to be almost unchecked. What would you do differently?
Well, you know, development was our middle name here for decades in Cobb County. And, you know, a lot of people can tell you if you go back to the 50s and 60s, it was dirt roads, not much more than dirt roads. But we had tremendous development boom in the 70s in East Cobb, and it has continued. We've had development going on all the time. The problem is when you start to run out of space to develop, it makes it a little more difficult. Now we start to see people come in and want to do more vertical developments, building high-rise apartment buildings, high-rise condos, things of that nature. And that is where we start to get into real trouble, because when you add the people intensity of high-rise living, you start to have trouble with all your infrastructure. Your transportation is probably the greatest one. The school district is always going to be under pressure because you've got a lot more people coming in than anticipated. And I think the high-rise development boom is one that needs to be short-lived, because it's going to create a lot of long-term problems for us if we're not very careful about controlling it.
One of the byproducts of that kind of density building is traffic, and there's questions of local traffic and regional traffic. And what are your thoughts on the subject?
We hear something occasionally about regionalism and the desire to have regional transportation planning, and even the desire to connect with MARTA. We can do our part and be a good regional partner on planning with other agencies and other communities around us. That's not really a problem, but we don't have to sell out our sovereignty in order to do that. We can do what's best for the people of Cobb County and still be a good planning partner for all the jurisdictions around us. Traffic is a problem, going to be a problem, and we have to be sure that, first of all, we don't make it any worse than necessary, and secondly, that we spend wisely when we put our resources to bear on trying to mitigate traffic congestion. There are always so many tempting ways to spend money on transportation that really don't do anything for transportation. We got to put that temptation aside and focus on doing the things like road building, road improvements, the things that will do something about the traffic. 97, 98, 99% of commuters commute in cars, and like it or not, most of them are single occupant cars, and it's going to keep being that way, and we have to prepare for it and plan accordingly.